How are you? Thank you, every single one of you, for coming. Awesome to see your beautiful faces again. My name is 𝗖𝗢𝗙𝗘𝗥𝗚𝗡𝗥. The voice you hear on Relationship 360. A lot of people keep telling me last week, the last time we had it, that they were expecting a very old man, that you are young. The lady said, "You are Barrister Oluwide?" I said, "Yes." She said, you mean you are Barrister Oluwide?" I said, "Yes. At least I should know who I am." She said, "But your voice." I said, "Yes, my voice arrived before me on that. So my voice is older than me." Thank you very much. I really want to appreciate you, first of all, for listening to the program. It was my desperate cry as a last resort for humanity to share the knowledge I have. And it's just amazing. I thank God that at least something positive has come out of what we have to share. So I want to especially acknowledge my wife who followed me here. She's been a very, we are talking we are talking of domestic violence and abuse. And I remember a pastor, a CAC pastor, who came and was preaching, and the wife came on stage with red oil and poured on his white and told him right there in front of everybody, it will be almost impossible to do what you are supposed to do when you are joined to the wrong person. You can't go far. Because the home that is supposed to be a place of rest will be a battleground. You go outside, you hustle, you come back in, you fight. So I always and I continuously thank God that at least I got one thing right. I've made a lot of mistakes in my life, but that I think would have been the worst thing. Can you imagine me being on radio and they just come, "Oh God, your wife is downstairs, over here, you come and hide." Right there on the radio station. And you just hear, "Olumide Omoshebi," on radio. I don't know how your imagination is. My imagination is very, 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 very vivid. Like as I'm talking, I just thought about it. That Uncle Jimmy will say, "Olumide, it is your wife." You not say, "Please, let's tell security. When they see, they should lock the door." I thank God that at least I have one good example to share with people. So my journey here started about 20 plus years ago. I was in the University of Ibadan, and of all projects, I decided to write a project in family law. So I had to go around and interview people in marriages. And I found out that at times, you want to write a project down, the first thing people do is hiss. When you say, "So how long have you been married?" Just say, 6 years. And in Ibadan, they are very vivid. They are like 6 years, Oloribu. That is, the translation is like you are saying a bastardly 6 years. You are not just saying 6 years, you are cursing the 6 years. And then it just became, you couldn't, my project was taking long because I didn't have one good thing to write. Then I started wondering what was wrong with marriages. Then I went to do my chamber attachment. And you see people that will walk in. Next thing you see lawyers running, pulling wife away from the room, husband. And I said, it can't be this bad. And that's where, I just said, why are marriages failing? And that was what just kept my head. Why are these marriages failing? And the quest for that answer is what has led me to where I am today. And it's not funny. 1 in every 4 marriages, I keep repeating this so that people would understand. This statistic was 5 years ago. 1 in every 4 marriages would end in a separation or divorce by the 2nd anniversary. So at that time, marriages had a lifespan of 2 years, 1 in every 4. Unfortunately, what they did was that when they had a problem, because they got married in the registry, they will go back to the registry and give them the marriage certificate that they don't want again. So the people in the registry will just be like, we don't call, you will go to court. They'll say, isn't it here that we signed? That they should take the marriage certificate they don't want again. So, you know, as big as the 𝗖𝗙 registry is, you need to go and sit down and talk to the staff and let them tell you how many people return marriage certificates. There was one, the highlight of my career. The marriage lasted 3 hours. That's the same day that they were still in 𝗖𝗢𝗙𝗡𝗡𝗥, and people were being greeting themselves. Marriage was already over. So, what I have been talking about is the very beginning of marriage. The very beginning, before marriage, that is the relationship. The problem we have is that Nigerians are, number 1, traditional, number 2, religious. And then you mistaken religion for somebody's character. You're mistaking tradition. No, it's from my area. We come from the same state. In fact, some mothers will not allow you marry anybody that is not from the same state. They say, what state? If it is too far. They say, why don't you find somebody from around? As if there is a special stream that flows in that your village that makes people super and extraordinary husbands and wives. Like there are no witches in your village, there are no armed robbers in your village. And they make it a matter of tribe and religion. But unfortunately, marriage is all about character. There is no other thing. You get married to a man's character. You get married to a woman's character, not her religion, not her tribe, not her education, not her wealth. It is her character. And the first step is always, welcome. The first step is always knowing who you are. There comes a time when you're in the university, boyfriend, girlfriend, you know that it is not going anywhere. But at that time that you are mature enough and you have decided that I'm now looking for a spouse, you must have known who you are. I mentioned about an old philosopher called Socrates. Someone asked him, a young man, and said, what is the secret to life? And he said, the secret to life is this: man, know thyself. That is, know who you are. Know your weaknesses. Know your strengths. Know what you can take. Know what you cannot take. Know what you can carry. Know what you cannot carry. Once you know yourself, then the moment you see what you cannot carry, you will know. When we had this discussion, I'd asked then she was my girlfriend, I said, what is that thing that if I do, this relationship is over? She said, if you touch me, that is if you beat me, I will kill you. That this one, she will not even report that I will kill you. No man is going to beat her again. And she said, what about me? I said, don't shout at me. Because the moment you're talking to me and you start shouting, it just, it's like my brain just blanks. And from 0 to 100, my temperature just goes from 0 to 100, and, I'm already braced up for a fight. So I know that I cannot marry my provocation. What will provoke me? So, as I was dating people, when I saw it, I knew that, I can't handle this, I can't handle that. The problem is a lot of people don't know what they cannot handle. They believe, after a while, they will change. There was a woman that told me that they told her that it's because when you give birth to a child for him, when he sees a child, he will change. So she gave birth to the first child. He did not change. She now tried again. It's like 5 children. He still did not change. So you find out that it is not a matter of children. It is a matter of character. Before I go ahead, I want to appreciate the Rose of Sharon Glorious Ministry International for collaborating with us, the Nurses Help Initiative, to give us this platform to have this program. I think I'm going to blackmail one of my pastors here to say something, at least on behalf of Rose of Sharon International. Okay, I'll give 2 microphones there. Oh, yeah. Please let us put our hands together.
Praise the Lord. We are happy to have you people here. On behalf of our mommy, hallelujah. On behalf of the servant leader, the visionary of this great ministry, Apostle 𝗖𝗢𝗨𝗡𝗥, we welcome every one of you in Jesus' name.
Thank you very much. Please, a round of applause. You cannot come into the house and you won't greet your landlord, Abi. Already your rent, they will just be looking at you and say, hey, is this? Come and renew your rent. So, ladies and gentlemen, what I have been telling and what I will keep telling people is it is a matter of character. And character comes into play when you already know who you are. Now, over 20 years, I have come to find that almost every single one of our cases has boiled down to people having either one of these 7 character traits. And that is what I have been teaching on the radio. This is questions and answers, but I'm just going to warm you up a little. You know, at times before people talk, they first of all feel the temperature of the house. So I found out that there are 7 basic character traits that once a person has as a predominant, that is how the person is. What you would do is endure the marriage. What you would do is tolerate the marriage. You know what toleration is? Toleration is accepting what you don't like. You are just allowing it, but you don't like it. So I don't like beans. I'm just chewing and putting on the side of my mouth. You know, you just be swallowing it. You are accepting what you don't like. So the traits are, number 1, a jealous person. Number 2, a proud person. Number 3, a stingy person. Number 4, a jobless person. 5, a liar. 6, a hot-tempered. 7, the malicious. When you are with people that have either one of those 7 character traits, your marriage becomes more of a prayer point. That God, just give me strength to endure, to... It is all about character, and I need to emphasize, it is not, oh, we're Christians, we attend the same church, or I'm a Muslim, we attend the same mosque. It is not a matter of, oh, we are from the same area, so we share the same values. Religion is not the definition of character, and character is not the definition of religion. They are 2 different things. You will not get married to a religion, you will get married to a person. You will not get married to a tribe, you are getting married to a person. One other thing that I need to demystify is, welcome, ma. One other thing I need to demystify. When we're in sessions and you ask, so what character do you think they start with? He must be God-fearing. And I said, okay, so is God-fearing a character trait? It is not. Why? Because everything fears God. The devil fears God. Demons fear God. Witches fear God. Animals, everything. So fearing God is a state of affairs. It is not a character trait. So when you say, God, I want a God-fearing person, you have just opened your options to every witch, to every wizard, to every cultist, because they are all God-fearing. And God-fearing is not a character trait. So I keep asking, what exactly is it that you would like in a person? Let me give you briefly, we're going to go into that Q&A shortly. Pride. Pride is showing an excessively high opinion of yourself. That means you think you are better than other people. You think that people are beneath you. So when you are in a relationship and it is pride, you believe you are better than the person that you are dating. And with pride comes arrogance. Arrogance is the display of pride. And what this leads to are these. Number one, a proud person. Proud people never admit that they are wrong. So even when they are wrong, they are right. They are not teachable. They never apologize. Why? Because they are right. So you are going with somebody who will never tell you I'm sorry because he believes he is right. Would they never admit they are wrong? They can't sympathize or empathize with you. Proud people have zero sympathy, empathy. You could have lost your loved one and you're crying. They'll say, get up, it's okay now. You know everybody will die one day. So, you know, the words they say, no empathy, no sympathy. Proud people are unteachable because they believe they know. Nothing you do will ever be good enough. So no matter how you dress well, he will not compliment you. No matter how much you do for her, you know, she just feels entitled. No, thank you. So they are very ungrateful. Your views will simply not matter. These are the struggles of being with a proud person. And then I would use, for those that believe in the Bible, you look at James. The book of James. James chapter 4 verse 6 tells you God opposes the proud and gives grace to the humble. The question will be, why would you marry someone who God is opposing? 6 things the Lord hates, 7 an abomination to him. A proud look. It tells you that not only on earth, but even in heaven, God does not look at pride. Now, Lucifer was in heaven, right? Kicked out to earth. Why? Because of pride. So this is the issue. Even God cannot stay. Heaven could not contain God and pride. God kicked him out. So you now picking a proud person to marry, meaning you can do what God cannot do. You know, it's... you have a trait that is, you have strength that is above that of God Almighty himself. It will fail. The second is stingy. You cannot be with a stingy person. The Oxford Dictionary defines stingy as unwilling to give, ungenerous, mean, uncharitable, lacking love. They are unwilling to share with others. Now, there's a difference between I don't have, so I can't give you, but stingy people have, but they are unwilling to give. There is no way you can love a person and have what the person needs and then refuse to give the person. Stingy people cannot love because they cannot give. Stingy people cohabit with you. Your living is an arrangement of ease for them. Stingy people would always tell you they don't have money. Everything else, they don't have money. So when you are dating, And a person never buys anything. They might be selling bread downstairs. He will pass by the bread. I just come to see all the time with nothing. It should be a bother. It should be a worry. They never spend on their partner. They never celebrate birthdays. They don't because they don't have money. So when you are with a stingy person, be prepared that you are the one that will spend money. Your children's school fees, it is 70,000. It's 20,000 I have, even though they have it. Stingy people are stingy to their own selves. You would see that they have money, they would not even look good. So you can cite a stingy person and know they are stingy. They have good jobs, but they will not spend. They will not spend money even on themselves. Look at their food. Their food is always basic. Pepper. No garnishing. A person who doesn't love himself cannot love you. Do you understand? Someone who will not even take care of himself cannot take care of you. And a problem, a very serious problem there, is always with a person who cannot spend money on their home. They usually see celebrations of birthdays, anniversaries, and other events as a waste of money. No surprises with them. Forget that, you are expecting a surprise. You wake up one day on your birthday. Nothing like that. They always complain they don't have money. They only cohabit, like I said. A stingy man can go hungry, so you do not ask them for food. So before you even begin to say, I need food, they say, even myself, I never chop since morning, Before you even start that one, they are, even myself, I never. To be with a stingy person is a lot because you will be enveloped with debt, busy. You will be, because you will borrow. School fees will never be complete. Rent will never be complete. Am I making sense, ladies and gentlemen? Some of the problems you will have is being with someone who is stingy. So let me also welcome my aunt on stage. Like I was telling you earlier, we would like to, she was not around, so I had to give the mic before we started without recognizing the people who made this possible, giving us this facility and partnering with us, the Rose of Sharon Glorious Ministry International. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening.
Good afternoon all. You're welcome to Rose of Sharon Glorious Ministry International University of Marriage program. Praise the Lord.
So, the third, I will just rush into that, then we're going to come into our questions and answers. This is where I want to touch before we start. The third character trait you cannot be with is a liar. Someone who lies. To understand this, we must first understand the definition of a lie. A lie is an untrue statement which the speaker wants you to believe, but he knows is not true. So the first thing about a lie is that the person lying knows that it is a lie. So you cannot mistakenly lie. Should I take that again? The speaker of the lie intends you to believe the truth of what he knows to be a lie. So he already knows that what he's saying is a lie, but wants you to believe that it is the truth. So you cannot mistakenly lie. You already know that it is a lie, but you want them to believe that it is true. The first thing about lies are that they are intentional. The synonyms of the word lie, for you to understand, is the synonyms. Lies are also known as, the liar is also known as a cheat, a deceiver, a trickster. Now, there are two major kinds of liars. We have the pathological liar and the manipulative liar. First of all, social scientists have now discerned pathological liars as a mental health problem. That is someone who just lies. Now, a manipulative liar lies to get what they want. For example, I just look at and I say, it looks as if this she will be very, and I think, if I can see 2,000 naira. And I just say, auntie, please, as I was coming, as we turned into the street, the tire of my car just climbed on the culvert and it tore. They said it would be like 9,000 naira. I have 6,000 naira. I don't know. Can I just like 2,000 naira so I complete and buy it? What I need is just 2,000 naira. But I have constructed a lie just because that is manipulative. And that is what you call a manipulative liar. They come up with stories. And that is how a lot of people get into relationships with you, by constructing something. They give you a short story, a short drama, thank you, a skit. And then you say, and you are dating, and your friends are like, why are you dating? Like I said, no, he comes from a rich family, but they just had a little problem. And, the guy had already constructed to get into a relationship with you. They create stories, and some lie about their educational background. We had, about 3 years ago, a woman who was married for 5 years to an engineer. It was the 5th year that he found out that the husband did not go to the university. And she was a master's degree holder. Because engineer, engineer, everybody calls him engineer. So what he does is he sells building products. So that's why they call him engineer. Sells building materials. And, he was saying, a lot of people, it is in marriage you start getting to know that this was a lie. The house is not really theirs. The car is not really his. He's not really educated. It's very important that you find out about the person you are dating. You don't just take what they tell you. And Christians are usually, there was a study we conducted, 78% of people who marry under falsities are Christians. Why? Because Christians have this thing of being gullible. They say, why should he lie? Because you think everybody is like you. You think everybody is like you. You say, why should he lie? He's a worker in my church. He's a pastor. He's a, why should he lie? We attend the same church. We have the same spiritual. Why would he lie? So it means it is easier to deceive the Christian than any other person, any other religion. It was a very sad discovery, because Christianity does not mean gullibility. Jesus was wise. I mean, how is it that in areas of wisdom we are so unlike, but in areas of religion we are very like? You don't even check. You don't even check the story at all. You just swallow. And then when they catch them in a lie, they say something. Promise me you will not lie to me again. You are telling a liar to promise you that he will stop lying. And you promise, though, that you won't lie to me again. A liar is not a switch that you turn off and on. You know, there's a Yoruba proverb, Mowafoniwa, that is, know their character, know the character of the person. When you know the person lies, how can you be with someone, you commit your life to a person, you can't trust what they say. You can't trust what they say, yet you want to bear their name. Sociologists now have identified liars, especially pathological liars, as a mental illness, something of a mind defect. A manipulative liar, then a pathological liar lies for no reason. They are not under pressure to lie. They are not in trouble that they need a lie. You know, at times when you're in trouble, you know, we just, you know, tell a little lie to get, but they are not in trouble. They are not under pressure. They just lie. Oh, so what do you do? Oh, well, I just got a contract with Lagos State. You know, we're dredging at the waterfronts and, you know, it's a multi-billion. You just go home. The guy is a billionaire. They just lie for no reason. They are called pathological liars, and it has been identified now as a mental illness. You cannot be with someone who lies. The one that kills a lot of men, the argument about virginity. When you're dating someone and the person tells you that I'm a virgin, I want to keep it that way, and then after marriage, on the honeymoon, they now discover that the person is not a virgin, but we are now already married, but you lied to me to get me to marry you, telling me that you're a virgin. So one said, if they tell you something like that, I'm a Christian, we can't do it, I'm a virgin, that. So how will you know that the person is lying? I said, for us, when it's a case of rape or defilement, you go to the hospital now and they check. If the hymen is intact, but if the hymen has been breached, you know that there had been penetration. Say, so I'll be taking my girlfriend. I said, so please let us just remove this, because about 3 years ago, it was a big problem. You told me you were a virgin. You told me that's why you married me. Lies, those little lies that people just to keep a relation. My friend, very good friend, he stayed in my house for 5 years when he came from Akure to Lagos. He got married to his sweetheart, and on her 40th birthday, he wanted to plan a surprise party. So he got her friends and everyone, booked a hotel, and he looked at it that, okay, who is missing? No, he said, okay, to top the surprise, now I said, let me call my mother-in-law. So now call the village. Mommy, you'll be coming to Lagos. Said, no, that she just came from, she just did Omugo, she's tired. He said, no, that this is the 40th birthday. I will send money, you will come, and the mother now said, 40th birthday of who? I said, of the wife. He said, the younger sister is 43. How can the older sister be 40? He said, no, now that is it was on her 40th birthday that he found out that the wife was 4 years older than him. He didn't even know which rock to, you just want to enter the ground. Because he is supposed to be 3 years older than the wife, but the wife is 4 years older than him. He is the same age with the third, and the wife is the first. In fact, her passport, everything, she had changed everything. But one thing was, they went to the same school. And one of our mutual friends was like, this girl had been in school, long before we entered. Are you sure? He said, no, she can't. Meanwhile, he is also friends with the younger one that is his mate. And was dating the older sister that is his auntie. Hello. So please let me pause there. Character is what you marry, not religion, not tribe, not is Yoruba, Igbo, not education. You say we're educated. We're, was it 2 years ago that two lawyer couple, both of them, I think was in Aja, victim of domestic violence, fatal stabbing. Domestic violence does not send your education, whether you're a professor or whether you are an illiterate. It is all about character. So let nobody tell you that a marriage or a relationship is about any other thing. It is about the character of the person you want to marry. If the person is goodly, then it will be goodly. If the person is crazy, then it will be crazy. It is the kind of character the person is. So, Purple Curtain is mainly about questions and answers, people that have issues, and also a cry for help for those that probably would want us to step into their situation, those going through child abuse, domestic violence and abuse, etc. So I would give us the floor if anyone with a question. I just give you a preamble to get everybody in the spirit, in the mood. So, please, if you have any questions, if you have anything you are not clear of, feel free to raise your hands and we'll have the mic come your way. Yes, sir. It's over here, please. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, my question is, what is your standpoint on age in marriage? Because in the process of the expose we just had, you said somebody lied about age, which of course is wrong. Because I have a family friend, the lady married very late. I think she was close to 40. Eventually, she married somebody who is 2 years younger. But till today, they're having a blissful marriage. In fact, come next week Saturday, by the grace of God, I'll be attending the 55th birthday of the lady in person. They are living in 𝗣𝗥𝗙𝗘𝗥. So what is your standpoint on this issue of age difference? But because I'm very close to the family, hitherto, I don't see them having any issue. But because some people have different kind of mindset about, I can't marry somebody who's older than me as a man. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. The issue about age is, for me, is sincerity. If the president of France married his school teacher, I think she's about 14 years or almost 20 years older than, about 20-something years older than he. The issue is lying about your age. Some people, women, there are lots of, on my street, I have someone whose wife is 4 years older than. She took the decision that, yes, I would. So I have no problem with age. It is the lying about the age that is the problem. Age, it's a personal decision. We are not in marriage with them. If the person gives them peace of mind, they are okay with it, is fine. But as long as the truth is there, it is when the truth is absent that you now start having issues that you lie to me. Age has nothing to really do with it. Yes, ma'am. I think.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is 𝗢𝗙𝗙𝗘𝗥. So I will just add an addendum to that answer. Indeed, you can marry anybody of any age, as long as both of you are aware. However, if you are in a place where you desire to have children, or you desire to have children, you find it is a personal desire with you to have children naturally, that, oh, I would like my wife to give birth normally. If that is where you are, then it is an issue to you, the age of your wife. In that kind of case, you need to marry a wife who is within that age range where they would probably have a larger chance of having a child naturally. Of course, we're all Christians, and you can say, oh, there is nothing that God cannot do. If that is the stand you are taking, then you know you took the stand by yourself. So if you now married this 60-year-old woman, and 10 years after the marriage, you are still believing God for the baby, you know you took the decision by yourself, so continue to believe God for the miracle by yourself. But if you just want to increase your chances naturally of having a child, then you have to be very particular about the age range within which you get married. Marry a woman within that age range where the likelihood of conceiving naturally are high. Of course, outside of natural conception, there is IVF, there's adoption, etc. But if you are in a place where it is very important to you that you marry a wife that conceives naturally, then you have to be very sensitive to the age of the wife you choose. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, somebody at the back. As an addendum, you said an addendum. Okay. I think when you decide to marry someone, all factors must be considered. You will consider to know that, okay, this person is older, this person, you must consider all factors. And once both of you agree, I think it's up to you. These two shall come together, not four, not all of us join, just the two of them. Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon.
Oh, okay. Good afternoon, ma.
Sorry, on your program this morning, we were talking about a proud person, and somehow you linked it to, you said maybe like the spouse, maybe one person offend the other person, and begging, and the person refused to the extent of telling people to beg the person, and the person still refused. So it's like you are like linking it to be a proud person, or I don't understand really. So, but I want to ask, if in a case whereby a man had been with a woman for like 14, 15 years and wasn't treating the woman normal, and at a point, maybe the woman had been enduring, and after like 14, 15 years, the woman just made up her mind that, oh, I'm not for you anymore. Maybe the family said that, okay, wait, you can't go, this, that, like that. And the woman agreed that, okay, she will stay, but she will not be of like being close with a man, like being cordial like before again. Such woman that the man still continued begging, and she refused due to she had made up her mind for everything she had gone through with the man. Can you call such woman a proud person?
Let me go back a little. So the question someone asked was that I gave 7 character traits. And the person said, is it possible for someone to have one person to have more than one? That is, the person is proud, the person is a liar. I said it is possible. In fact, there are some character traits that the fact that you have one will mean you have the other. For example, proud people are malicious. They don't forgive easily. They remember. So that is where that conversation came in, that they keep record of wrong. They don't forgive easily. They remember. And to forgive easily, if you know you are done with a marriage, if you are done, why are you still there? Do you understand? I'm no longer a student of Unilag. Why am I still in their hostel? So you are just, there's a difference between long suffering and to suffer long. I keep telling you. What are you? You say you are no longer interested, but you are there in the house, you are eating together, you are sleeping on the same bed. Or okay, let's say you are no longer sleeping in the same bed. You vex, you go and sleep in the children's room, but both of you will eat from the same kitchen, you will sleep in the same, and you know that your heart is not there. What are you doing there? It even damages the children. Do you understand? Where, let me give you an example. So, I saw a documentary some years ago on BBC. There was a boy in school that whenever children, they fight, there they will tell them, you that got angry, you face this, they now say you should apologize to each other and shake hands. That's the British way, you shake hands. And so when the boy was called, he said, I'm not supposed to forgive him yet. That is what a 5-year-old told the teacher that was, okay, apologize to each other. He said, I'm not supposed to forgive him yet. And the teacher said, you are not supposed to. When are you supposed to forgive him? He said, much later. Now, there they don't joke with things like that. They took him in and asked what's going on. That's how they found out that the father and the mother, they don't talk in the house. The children have already taken after. When there's an issue, they don't talk for months. So the children also now have started learning how to keep malice. And imagine, as an innocent 5-year-old just said, I'm not supposed to forgive him yet. When are you supposed to give it? Much later. Children are the primary victims of abuse. You know what it is for a child to see the father tell the mother that you're a bastard, they didn't teach you well, your mother is, and the child is just going to school. You find out that those children, after some time, will not be doing well in school. Where you just watched mommy push daddy or daddy push mommy. When they get to school, it's usually they don't really do well, they don't concentrate. I think it was late last year when I was called by the principal of a school that one particular girl has refused to go back home from school. And they called the mother. The mother said, if he doesn't want to go there, let her stay there. So another parent now came that, can she adopt? I don't know the process of adoption I've not done that before. So when they were asking me, and I was very interested in it. The girl just said, I don't want to go home. So before, they found out that she would just leave school and be walking around, going to visit this one's house, going to visit that one's house, till very late. They just don't want to go home. So children, and then you are wondering how we have abusive adults. They were children before. So this is how abuse is passed from one generation to the other. So what annoys me the more is if it is in your violence, your abuse is in front of children. Children who grew up in abuse will become abusive adults. There's conclusive research, it's on the United Nations webpage, that men who beat their wives are men who saw their mothers being beaten by their father, an intimate partner, or a family member. So they are reproducing how you raised them, what they saw. So when you say you want to stay in the house, you start sleeping in your children's room, your husband is begging you, you think the children are not seeing? They are. If you are not doing, don't do. If you are doing, then do. It's just simple. Hello. Hello. The home, if only you knew what the home was. The home is where a nation is formed. the position of a father is so critical that it affects 2 generations. That is his son and his son's son. So the way we behave at times, you need to understand that children are taking notes. So I have a very hard face. I have to smile. My face, if you see me without smiling, my face is very hard. So I have to try to smile so that you won't say, sorry, is anything the matter? I will say, no, you say, your face. So I try to smile. My face is naturally hard. Then my son now comes, and suddenly his face is now hard to me. And I will say, what's the matter? I say, nothing. So one time, someone said I should look in the mirror. That is his face. Because, you know, when I look and he is, well, he's more handsome, but he just does the strong face. Why? Because he has seen his father's strong face for 13 years. So he just does it and squeezes his eyes. You know, at times they say I'm very expressive. So he does that too. He does. And I'm like, how can I go and erase 13 years of programming? How can I delete it? So I said, you know, I watched a movie. The man said, you cannot die before me. If you die before me, I will kill you. And I said, this boy, what did you say? Maybe it's the son. I said, inside the house, the son is affecting you. But it is what he has been seeing. His father's face is strong. So I have to smile. I have to start telling, put your face naturally, not do like that. So one day I now held the belt. I will beat your facial expression away. I'll do like that. But the moment you go, his face is back again. So tell me, how will his own children? Now he will give birth, and then his face will be like that. Then his own son's face too will not be like that. See now, 2 generations is what I have affected now. Sir? I don't even know what to do. Maybe I have to start bribing him. But Pastor Kinney, what is there? Maybe, I don't know. What can I do? This mic. But there's no problem now. You are watching. You just ask him because you just turn. And I say, why are you looking at me like that? Okay. We will do smile challenge, Abi. Everybody, you just see that. 13 years of hard now. See the work of my hand. It affects them. Even facial expressions affects them. He has grown up. And his face is now. But I say that you are handsome. You don't need me. I'm not that fine. You know, my own is the work that I'm doing. I have to. But I don't even know. They pick it to everything they pick. The way you are talking, your aggression, your gentility, your... Funny enough, do you know it is possible to pass stupidity to your children? Do you know it is possible to pass stupidity to a wise child? So the Bible even, at times I just hate the fact that, when people have discovered this thing, a companion of fools is what? Easily destroyed, Abi. So even when you are wise, but you are constantly with fools, you become foolish. As an adult, not as a child. Now imagine a child that is always in the presence of a stupid father will be asking stupid questions. You can pass stupidity to children. That is why at times it is better for the parents to just keep quiet. Please, I am available. Questions, please. Thank you, sir. Okay, from the back here, sir. It's not...
Thank you very much.
A lovely hat, sir.
This is Abi from Chevron Drive, Lekki.
You came all the way from Chevron Drive?
Yes.
Thank you very much, sir.
Visually.
Thank you. Did you say visually impaired?
Yes, correct.
I'm coming to shake your hand, sir.
It wasn't really easy. Even when I got to this place, they even toughed me somehow. They showed me that number 14 is opposite where they brought down the building. So I was just roaming about here.
I'm in front of you, sir. I want to shake your hand.
Okay.
How are you, sir? Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you, too.
Awesome. Okay, I'm right here.
Thank you very much. Okay, so the age thing, age all the time, you know, and it seems to be predominant in Nigeria. Nigerians in Holland and the other parts of the world all the time, age. So I want to find out, because this my eye disease, it was dictated after about 7 different eye clinics.
Okay.
It was dictated by machine, not man, not any human. That this is glaucoma advanced stage.
At what age was it detected?
You mean
how old were you when it was detected?
That's 4 years ago. I should be 49.
At that time?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
Okay, so even a baby in the womb, today we scan, you know, and scan will tell you the baby's positioned well, it's not positioned well, and things like that. So does it mean that we don't have already invented a machine that can tell one's age?
There's what you call carbon dating, but then you must be you must be an artifact. A machine that tells age. I heard they use it to catch those footballers now, those that give official age. So there might be, I mean, they just might be. I know they tell the ages of trees. It's called carbon dating. You know, rocks, formations, and all that. But it's something we can Google. You know, I'm not a scientist. It's something we can Google to find out. Thank you. Some here.
I discovered that in most marriages, there's a lot of bitterness. And I tried to find out the cause of this bitterness in most marriages. So I discovered one, when a man marries a woman that is a good homemaker, who decide to pay bills, now take advantage of the goodness of the wife and hand over all the responsibility to the wife. And instead of him doing certain things, he now prefer to go and spend his money to most single ladies, the married one, and the single ladies outside. Now, to the women, when you see that the husband is capable to do certain everything, the woman now decides to hand all over the responsibility to the man. Even to buy marquee in the house. If the husband is not there, he cannot buy. Rather, she prefers she can spend all her money in boutiques, go to the highest hairdresser, he can put on different kind of chain all over her body.
Of her own money?
Her own money.
Okay.
But refuse to assist the husband. And this thing always causes a lot of commotion at the sample. So, barrister, I want you to do a kind of design in that area so that we learn a lesson. Thank you.
Okay, sorry, sir, you mentioned 2 different things. You said a woman who is a homemaker.
Yes.
And assists the man, and the man then goes to philander outside. No,
she see the need to be helping in the house by paying bills, rents, and some other things, even school fees.
Yeah.
Now the husband take advantage of that. Stop doing everything, hand over everything to her. So now he prefer to go and spend his money
outside.
with single ladies and even
So
women.
the wife now, on seeing this, now stops doing.
Stop doing a kind of, sometimes result in talking, knocking in the house.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what is the problem now? If that is for me to say something about
Yes, to
it.
say,
Okay.
it's not a situation.
So you are with someone who leaves all the responsibilities to you and then goes to Philander, spend his money outside. And one day the woman has enough is enough and then stops spending. It's something led to something. Something led to something. If a man would be that irresponsible, you can't expect to profit from irresponsibility. The man should go and amend his ways. He should go and amend his ways. Man should amend his ways. The issue I may have is that usually it is the children that suffer. When you are there, you have the money to pay the school fees, and you say unless the man pays the school fees, then the children end up staying at home, like I mentioned this morning. And the husband saw the children sit at home for one full term. That is a problem. However, I think that once love is no longer there, you need to understand that everybody has a breaking point. You can't expect someone to endure forever. If the person endures forever, the person will die before their time. And that is why, there's a, okay. Men also go through domestic violence and abuse, neglected. You know that men also suffer that. Aha. But the funny thing is that men don't talk. Because how would you come to meet me now? It's not manly for a man to come and say, my wife beats me. My wife, the way she beats me in the house. A man would rather be quiet because he doesn't want anybody to laugh at him. But there will come a day where enough will be enough. In Ebonyi, about 40 years ago, a man went to the police station and reported that his wife has been violent with him and that he's going through domestic violence and abuse. The police laughed and said that, how can a man, you are saying that the wife is this, the wife is that. He said it is a family matter that he should go and handle it. He came back an hour and a half later with the head of his wife. He had killed her and cut off the head and brought to the police station, which caused a commotion. First of all the policemen on duty that day were sacked because the man had come to report. But that man was not just going through, he had been going through, and that day, I think that was the height of it, and he killed somebody. So I always am afraid of when that thing comes and today enough is enough. You know that today enough is enough. Anything can happen. So I always tell people that if it is not working, before it gets to that day, the day that they call the day of evil, before it gets to the evil day, please separate them because somebody will go in and not come out. In the past 1 month, we've had 3 murder cases where a man killed the wife and then killed himself. And there's another one, all in Ikorodu. Another one that the man killed the wife. And before it gets to that time, I always tell people, and there's this financial thing that people forget their place. First of all, I think if you want to marry, as a man, the first thing you must get is an accommodation. Because the girl was living somewhere, or either in her father's house. You now go to the father's house to say you want to take her. Where do you want to put her? You don't have. So why not just leave her where she has accommodation? So for me, accommodation is number 1. If a man cannot afford accommodation, let him be single. Where do you want to put her? And then when she comes, children usually follow. Where would you put them? So accommodation number one is unnegotiable. A man, even if it is 1 bedroom, he must have somewhere to bring the woman into. Can't bring from a house to the wilderness. Number one. Then number two, it is your duty to now keep the house. The woman must have something to eat. Then the woman also will bring her own substance to help you. But the moment you renegade on that, this is what the question you asked has been some of the New Year resolutions of some women this year, that they will not assist in the house, that if all of us are going to die, let us all die. Because they have been, a woman gave her business, the man took over the business, a school. She started the school, the husband, small, said it was, next thing, the man has taken over, is the one signing the check because he knows how to, that she gives money, she doesn't know how to, she has taken over the school, and the woman has just stepped back and said, whatever happened, because they've given everything they have. So I don't blame if she says she's not doing it, but the children that will suffer is always my own issue. You want to say something, ma? I think you should sit down here, ma, so that it will reduce your distance covered.
Good afternoon. So I just want to say something about what you said. I happened to talk to a couple, I think about 2 or 3 years back. The woman was the one doing everything, to the extent that she was one paying house rent, school fees, getting the children's school snacks and all that. So I noticed that, she was depreciating in beauty, in stature. She was becoming a shadow of herself. So, and I told her, does your husband work? She said yes. And he does mind, small jobs. So what can happen in such a situation is that sometimes we women, we feel that we are fixers. We feel that we are super women. We can do everything. And I don't know how to say this in English. How do you translate that, please? No, someone that...
The one is irresponsible.
Irresponsible. So someone that has, has this irresponsible traits already, now sees you, being out there, doing everything, the man will relax. It's the same thing with the women. If a man is the one doing everything, I know men, who buys the food stuff, buy the shoe, buy the clothes, buy everything. They don't want the woman to buy anything. So the woman will relax. So but when you find yourself in such a case or a situation and there is still love, because like my husband said, if there's no love, there's nothing you're doing there. But if there's still love, you can gradually withdraw. So what I told her to do was, I said, first things first, tell your husband that next year you don't have money for rental, that your business is not as buoyant as before. So if your rent was 1 million, tell your husband you have 300,000. Let him go and look for. So by the time the landlord came, started harassing them and everything like that, he eventually was able to come up with about half. The woman still went. The woman said, I went to borrow money to balance it. So you are owing this person I borrowed. In fact, the person sometimes used my name, used our friends and all that. So, but I found out that in the last 3 years, they've gradually been able to come to a middle ground. The husband now does more. And they're happier. The lady is now being able to use part of her money for her hair, like he said. So there's a bit of a balance. But if there is no love, there's nothing you can do about it. The woman will just say enough is enough and she'll let go. But if there is love, you just have to withdraw gradually. Some men, they don't like a macho woman. They don't like you being, doing everything. They'll say it's an ego thing. So when the woman is doing everything, they feel that, oh, you can do it. Continue. So you have to just find a way to calm down. That's my own.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You said the man had money, but he was spending it outside. So it's not as if he didn't have the money. He had the money, but was spending it outside. And the woman knows that my husband has the money. Thank you very much. Yes.
Good afternoon, sir. Barista.
Good morning, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
I'm one of your fans. I follow you back to back.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir.
I'm on radio and I'm also a volunteer.
Yes, sir. What local government?
Mushin local government.
Thank you very much, sir.
So, based on the last thing you said, as in the last purple curtain that we had, you really emphasized on marry your match. That if you are educated, you must.
Yes, go for an educated person.
Yes.
Yes, your social status.
Social status. And today you are so focused on, you really emphasized on character. Yes, sir. So it really got me confused that are we supposed to marry based on character, or are we supposed to marry based on social status?
You marry, you see, character and your social status. The most important is character. And at the same time, don't go below your social class. Very important reason. Like I said, the person's character determines the shape of the marriage. Character is referred to as animus in Latin. The way they describe people in Latin is in three categories. There's the anima, which is the breath. That is breath, you are alive, your soul. Then animus, which is the character of your soul. Then animal, which they now use to name the animal. So you are named based on your character. In fact, some tribes will take a little time to give a child a name. They watch the character of the child. They say, this one will be a warrior. This one will be a this. Character is everything. Then your social class. If you are looking for character, look within your social class for character. There's always a problem of insecurity when you marry someone below. For example, a woman who, we had someone who was very educated, married someone who just had school sat. There was always problems, and I keep saying there would always be an issue, because when she talks, you say, because you go school, Abi. You know, it always has to be ahead. You know, the way you are talking, it always happens. I have a friend who was sacked from his job because of the woman he married. He married a woman who was not as educated as he was. So in the bank, when she went to visit him in the bank, she saw the secretary. You know, in the bank, women dress very well. So every woman that talks to him, the secretary will say, no, she doesn't like this one. This one cannot work with my husband. And the man says, I'm not the owner of the bank now. I'm not the one that. And anytime she goes to the bank, there's always, he just got a sack letter. You have to marry within your social class. That is have the kind of exposure you have, so that you'll be able to talk to the person. To be able to talk to the person, you need the person to be on your level of intellect, your standard of intellect. Do you understand? I dated someone that we were so far apart intellectually that even the things that made me laugh, she was always a African Magic Yoruba person. I'm more of Hollywood, action, thrillers. And when we would go out, I would not be spending 5,000 naira to buy ticket for I'd rather buy the CD, which is like 200 naira or 500, than to go and pay 5,000 naira. So that was my mentality then. That why would I come to the cinema to come and watch Nollywood that time? I would be like, and that was the fight. There was nothing that we could, I couldn't sit down to plan. At that time, I would mention domestic violence. She would say, that is, let them, she said, let them kill themselves. It was just so, it just couldn't, we were so far apart. So your social class, someone who is up to your level. And then when God made Eve, when he brought Eve, he said someone, the various interpretations. One was who is comparable to you in intellect. All the other animals, you know, they can't have town hall meetings. Have you seen dogs coming together to decide who they will vote for the next thing? Like, no. But human beings, so God created someone. Adam was surrounded by animals. So God had to create someone he could relate to intellectually. And that is what you must follow. However, as you relate to the person must have character. You don't even try it. I don't know if you have that kind of relative or friend or someone who you guys cannot just connect on the same level. You can't really plan because you can't tell. It's terrible. No? You are not married to for the rest of your life. What will happen is that you will have your wife, then you will be talking to somebody outside who gets you, who understands what you are trying to say. Because at home, this one is just school fees, or you know, you can't really. Do you understand what I'm saying? You can't really plan, you can't really explain, you can't really share ideas because you are so intellectually apart. I remember one day I was talking to some people. That one just came in and I said, you know, let me see you. And she just said, that's the people. She just said, in the presence of the people I was talking to, that these are the ones that, they are the ones that are shouting on each other. That please hurry up, and let's, I just looked at. Just entered my office like that. And somebody said, I'm in a session. And I said, I want to marry one more. I just said, sorry. We both all of them looked. I just said, that's my auntie. She came from. Of course, I would disclaim. I would say that is my. That was the. I just knew that this thing cannot. No finesse. No. How do I put it to? Totally different frequencies. It's terrible. It's terrible. Because they were telling me that time, bring her up to your level. That you know when you love her, she will come up to your... I say it's too late. She's already a grown adult. What do I want to teach her? You teach an old dog new tricks? No. Follow your social class in the character. Thank you very much. Yes, ma.
Good afternoon, Barrister Olumide, and good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, ma.
My name is 𝗖𝗢𝗨𝗡𝗥. I'm your colleague. I'm a lawyer as well, and I'm by the grace of God, Vice Chairperson of 𝗢𝗙𝗙𝗘𝗥.
Good to see you.
Thank you. I've been in touch with you, Code, and I also follow you now on Instagram.
Thank you very much, ma.
And I'm happy to report that I've binge-watched on your past episodes on the 7 character traits. I found it quite illuminating.
Thank you very much.
A lot of things, and I think ordinarily, without sounding, proud, I used to believe that I know a lot about people, but I found that I started learning from your posts and the messages you put out. I'm particularly impressed by the fact that you always make reference to Bible quotes. Since we're Christians, at least I am a Christian, you are a Christian, and you will always find a way to refer your teachings to scripture. And for me, that's what gives a lot of validation to what you say, being a Christian.
Thank you.
I want to say that I know of a case, after I listened to you, then I understood, what that case really was. A man that has about, just imagine, so when somebody says, can someone have more than one? That man has like 5 minimum, and I'm not even sure. I wanted to say, I could say 6 out of the 7 in one person. Of those traits he listed, if you've been listening to him on Instagram, the man, I can tell you comfortably 6. The only one I can remove is joblessness. Because he actually has a fantastic job. He works with a multinational. Okay. So you can imagine. So that's the only one I can say he's not jobless. But every other one, wow, the man has it. I can tell you that for free. Now, this man has been married 14 years, and the wife eventually couldn't take it anymore. You know, she left. And the church have been talking to her to say, oh, you know what, go back. You know, meanwhile, this woman has been through, you can imagine 14 years. I mean, there's been a whole, you know, she's gone through everything. Prayers, which church has she not gone to? Prayer and fasting, prayer, you know, it will change 14 years. So she said it's okay. The church, and a lot of why she even stayed that long was mainly because of what the church has been telling her. You know, you're a wife, there's a woman that builds the home, keep praying. In fact, one of our pastors said you didn't pray enough, you know, and all that. Now, at the end of the day, even after she left, they're still saying she should go back because God does not like divorce. You have to stay married so that, you know, your children can grow up in kini. And I understand that all of that is even bad for the children, you know. So now we're even saying how to, you know, rescue children and all that. My question to you, sir, is what can you do, or I'm also a volunteer. I joined your network recently. Yes, sir. What can we do? Because I now see myself as part of, you know, the change. What can we do, particularly with the churches? I find that, I mean, from the statistics you gave, Christians, you know, or Christian marriages seem to be the worst hit when it comes to all of this. I think a lot of the problem comes from the church. Now, I'm talking from like Christian experience, you know. I don't know if people from other religions are experiencing it, but particularly in Christendom, there's a deep problem with the leadership. And I find that it has to do a lot with a lack of understanding, you know, of the nature of what we're talking about. So, in my own opinion, I believe that there are certain issues that you can deal with, you know, as clergy or as, you know, counselors, where the relationship is a healthy marriage. If you're talking about a healthy marriage, you can now begin to, you know, but when it's a marriage that is toxic or abusive, you cannot be doing all of that. It's a totally different ballgame, and I believe that that's where the problem is. The church doesn't seem to distinguish between what we are dealing with, toxic marriage versus healthy marriage. They tend to give a blanket, you know, way of dealing with matters to all types of marriages, which I think that in itself is a problem. So please, can you respond to that? What can, you know, I see that you go to churches a lot, but, you know, what more can we do, or is there any other thing that we can do? And to wrap this up, I'd like to say, when you mentioned Lekki, I actually came from Lekki myself, you know, down here. And I can offer to take him back on my way.
Thank you very much.
Right to your doorstep in Chevron.
Thank you very much, ma'am. So, I became born again at about 40 years ago. And I was not yet 10 then. I think I was 8. So what made me born again then was they showed a movie in church. I attended the 𝗖𝗙𝗙𝗘𝗥 and Seraphim Church then. So they had this youth fellowship for young, because a lot of people then, their children started leaving the 𝗖𝗙𝗙𝗘𝗥 and Seraphim Church for Pentecostal. So they said, instead of all our children leaving, let us open a youth fellowship for where they can. So they showed a movie. And the movie was about hell. How, you know, at those times they were saying Jesus was coming back, and how a lot of us were afraid not to go to hell. Oh, that movie was terrible. Everybody there, including the technician, became born again that day after watching the movie. But mine was, I had always grown up from then till now, under the guardianship, I've lived my life on the principles of the Bible. I do everything with my conscience. And I have come to understand that knowledge is not the problem that I have seen with the church is that the knowledge they have is limited to the Bible. There are lots of courses, there are lots of life situations that you would see that will challenge what you know, that will force you to open the Bible and look for things that you never saw. And I found that a lot of times the problem is that the church puts unqualified people to give advice. People that don't know anything about. For example, especially in marriage counseling, they look for an old couple in church and say that because these people, they are old, they've been married for 40 years, they must know. They make them the head of guardians, marriage counsel, and you see them coming, but they also could be going through abuse because they think that the wisdom of Solomon has something to do with the age of Methuselah. Wisdom is not in age. That is the first thing you would understand, because the age of Solomon had nothing to do, the wisdom of Solomon had nothing to do with the age of Methuselah. They need to get qualified people to give for sensitive positions like marriage counseling. They tell, it was 2 years ago, I was with, I was called to a panel and they were discussing that we cannot tell people not to marry. I said, why? I tell people not to marry. You come to my office, you want, this is the person, I talk to you, I talk to him separately, then I bring both of you together and I tell you, I think you're a terrible mix. This will not work. That is the truth. But you know the truth, but you can't tell them the truth. Because, why? So that is the problem. The Bible says you will know the truth and the truth will set you free. So if, firstly, we put unqualified people, then we make it a church doctrine not to tell people what you are actually seeing. A lot of churches have unqualified people giving advice, preaching, teaching, marriage counseling. The Bible says, study to show yourself approved, a workman that needs not be ashamed, rightly divide. That means there's a wrongly dividing. If it tells you rightly dividing, that means there's a way you can wrongly divide the word of truth. And when it says study to show yourself approved, it didn't say study the Bible. The Bible doesn't tell you how to operate a phone. It doesn't tell you how to service your car. The Bible is your conscience. Knowledge. The Bible says, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. It tells you to acquire knowledge, to ask why. Why are Christian marriages failing? That was my project. Why is it always Christians? Why? 87% of wrong. That means we were not taught well. If we are failing a class, it's either the teacher is not teaching or the students are dull. But if 87% of the class fails, that means the teacher did not teach them well. So a lot of us were not taught well. We were not taught what to run away from. We were taught that what God cannot do does not exist. But God cannot lie. God cannot dwell in heaven with Lucifer. There are several things in the Bible, the prayer of an unrighteous man, the prayers of the wicked, an abomination. There are lots of things in the Bible tells you that God will not do. So there are, and that is why I thank God that some churches would even call me because they can't tell these people to separate. They say it won't be from their mouth. They will call somebody me. It is my mouth. They can come and hear it from. But you know now, you know that it is, you know. So why can't you tell them? And you are their shepherd. Why can't you say it? And that is the problem. Religion. But God did not bring religion. God brought a lifestyle. He brought a lifestyle. It is called salvation, not religion. What I will just tell you the truth. And I will go. If you like, don't sleep. If you like, sleep. I will just tell you the truth. I've almost been beaten in my office by a man because I told the wife that this is a wrong match. He said, who do you think you are? He got up. I sat down. I said, this is what I am talking about. Already you've gotten up. You want to fight. Is that what you will be doing to the woman? He said, you are manipulative. He just pushed the chair. I said, this is what we are talking about. And I looked at the woman. I said, how did you meet? How did somebody recommend him, or you use your sense to go to the market? How did he get to this point that you want to marry? I spent 1 hour with him. You spent 9 months with him. Time for delivery, full conception to delivery. And you cannot see. And she just sat down in the office. Man got up and said, I'm going outside. What does he do? He goes outside and calls his pastor. The pastor now calls the woman and tells the woman to give me the phone to talk. And I say, put it on. He said, what God has joined together. So I asked, I said, where did God join them together? What location? He said, I'm a servant of God. I said, I am a child of God, sir. Where is the location that God joined them? So it is just because they are not trained. And we don't love, and I keep asking, if it were your own daughter, will you tell your daughter to marry this man? So don't give to other people what you will not give to your own children. It's just simple. And they are very unqualified. Because if someone like me should come, you know, I got to one of the first times, as I got to the stage, the pastor just said, please, in this church, we don't say divorce. We don't say divorce. And just don't say anything about it. The guy was following me, so people were thinking he was carrying my Bible and he was just telling me, don't say divorce, you know, just don't say divorce. So I stood and now put up the mic. I said, sir, have you listened to me before? Why did you call me here? Ladies and gentlemen, we need qualified people. People that know what they are talking about. Do you know what knowledge is with the conscience of the Bible? It is a powerful force. When you know what you are saying, and this, your Bible, is your conscience. Whatever religion you are, if you're a Muslim, if you're a Christian, if you're an atheist, if your conscience is alive and you have knowledge, you are very powerful. Let's put the right people there. Let's put the right people there. They've banned me in a lot of it because let's just put the right people there. It's terrible what people are going through in marriage. I brought a woman to my program. She was blinded by her husband. The day she was made the regional manager of a multinational, it's a pharmaceutical. The husband had always been envious that you'll be working in the house. She went there, they gave her the job, they shook hands. Now she had separated 2 years. It was her mother and one pastor that kept pushing her that come back. You already have 2 children. So she had separated. She now came back after 2 years. The day that she was made regional manager, she lost both her eyes. So I brought her to the studio, to my program. Those ones that say, go back, go back, go back. Now, of course, he's not with her again because she's blind now. But as she's blind, she's still the one paying the children's school fees. Religion does not mean you cannot tell the difference between safety and danger. Do you understand? Because you're a Christian doesn't mean you can't identify a snake. Proverbs 22:3 says, a wise man sees trouble from afar and hides himself. You don't marry your trouble, you hide from trouble. But the simple walk into it and are punished. Why are you simple? A simple person is referred to it as a simpleton. They are neither wise nor foolish, but they are those that other people make decisions for. The definition of a wise man by scripture is not that they are born wise, but they are always willing to learn. Now, the fool is someone who believes what they know is enough. They are unwilling to learn new things. They believe what they know is enough and they know everything. Then the simple, neither wise nor foolish, by Greek translation, the simple person just means open. That means they are just open for what? Anything. The loudest voices on earth are the voices of tradition and religion. Whichever one comes first, they would take. So there are people that they can't make. Have you been with such people that they can't decide? They will call, well, what do you think I should do? They cannot take a decision. They keep asking people, and whatever they do is what they are advised to do, what they are told to do. Those people always have calamity. Because everything they do is not out of wisdom, it's out of what somebody says. You have those people now, it's what their mother tells them they will do. It's what their uncle tells them that they will do. It's what if anything happens, they have to talk to this person first. They can't sit down, think, analyze, make a decision. They are called simpletons. Another word for simpleton is idiot. It's there on Google, just type simpleton. You would see idiot. You will see stupid. It is from there you know fool, stupid, and idiot mean the same thing. Thank you. Please, you know, if you release me, I can just keep going till next year. So, questions, please. Yes.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good
My
afternoon.
name is Simon, and this is my first time joining you.
Oh, wow. Thank you. Please, a round of applause for Madam Onyese. Thank you.
Sir, please, what if someone got married with maybe your husband, or you just got married and the person, you didn't know her or know him or that character. Eventually, maybe one or two things, or he lost his job, he started, drinking. Understand? But he tried to manage, as a Christian, and he keeps doing it. Then what would you do at that stage, sir?
When someone loses their job and they start drinking.
Yeah, misbehaving.
Okay, continue. Is it to then the family? I want to link it to the family, the wife and the children.
Yeah.
Is it that the drinking now starts affecting the home?
No, it's not affecting the children. It's only the man. But the woman, keep telling the children that despite your father is behaving this way, that not mean that yes, you should go that way.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I don't think that the loss of probably, this world is pressurized. Do you understand? When you are talking of gravity, we're already under pressure, atmospheric pressure. So, not to talk of this Tinubu administration. When something happens in life and a person breaks down totally, there is what you call character, strength of character. You have to 2020. No, it was 2010. I went out, and on my way back, you know, my house help started calling me that, uncle, where are you? I said, I'm on the street. He said I should come, more smoke is coming out of my room. By the time I got to the house, you know that thing in movies that if fire is burning and you open the door and then the thing throws the person back? That thing is true. It is not a joke. So when I wanted to open my room, when I touched the handle, it was hot. So we forcefully broke it. When we kicked down the door, there was I don't know. I just saw myself flying back. It was as if they say oxygen rushes in. And so I lost my house. The entire structure burnt down. 4 flats burnt down. My clothes, my shoes. So that day that was 2010. I lost everything. And I was standing and staring that, what happened? Not up to that. I had dated someone. I broke up with her about 5 months before that time. She now calls me that, well, she's pregnant. And I said, congratulations, that I just lost my house. I borrowed some money. I got a loan from the bank, an advance payment guarantee to do something. So all the documents were in the house. So I had lost there was no money anywhere. And somebody I broke up with 5 months is telling me that she's pregnant. So I was very dismissive. She now said, is your pregnancy? We broke up in February. You called me in June to tell me that what kind of, he said their family is calling me. Is that, I just cut the phone. Then after she came back and said she didn't know she was pregnant. She was still saying, like what? I'm at the place where my house burnt. You are seeing rubbles. We are trying to look for what I can. So I was sleeping on the floor where my house burnt with nothing because I didn't have any money to even, everything I had was there. So I didn't know where to go next. At night, I would lay down on the rubbles and sleep. If you remember Nebuchadnezzar when he became an animal, that was me. I would wake up at times at night, with dew on my head because I was sleeping outside on the floor. And then again, one woman came and said she was pregnant again. I ought to have committed suicide a long time ago. But, fast forward some years after, I was able to rebuild. After then, when it rained, I would tell my neighbor not to lock his cars, so that when it's raining, I would go into his car and sleep there. That was how I was living. At times when it was so, I would just be walking down the road looking for a church that they are doing night vigil, so I can just enter and sleep, pretend as if I'm praying with them at the back. So my point is this. You can't, because you lost a job. He didn't lose a house, just job. At least he has home to go back to. I didn't have anything to go back to. So what I'm trying to tell you is that just hold on. And a person like that is very dangerous. When you think everything is gone, you want to commit suicide, you want to drink yourself to death, maybe you will help the person and encourage the person. But never for once think that, this is it. It is over. It is not over until you die. It is not over until you die. Literally, as long as you are alive, there is hope. If I can tell you the story of how I had nothing. And my father was very affluent, so people could not reconcile that, how are you living? There was no, as in everything I had, I went to use it to borrow money, and everything was in the house. So let that hope just be in everyone. Please tell him that it is not over. Shebi is me like this. I'm back and I'm better. It was a Muslim that saw me and gave me, told me to come and stay in there because she was my neighbor 4 houses away. So every morning I would go and use their toilet too. So she was not like, what happened to you? Where you stay? They don't have toilets, ni. So until one day I just told her, I said, Alaja, so. She said, because she knew my father. He said, Omokayo, that's my father said. He said, I have 6 rooms, take one. I was there for about 3 years. If when I make little money and I want to at least buy food stuff, she won't collect. She said, I put you in my house and you want to feed me. So I should go and eat, So character, that's why I said character is not a matter of religion. I went to my own family, they said, one day they said Gary was missing in the house. Gary was missing. So I came all the way to steal Gary. So I found out that, you know what, let me just go back to the rubbles where I was sleeping. Muslim. That's where the story of the Good Samaritan comes in. You find out that the Samaritan was not Jew, was not. But funny enough, do you know Samaritans are actually Jews, but a segregated, like you have Igbos, then they have that Osu caste. It is well. Tell him not to give up. Obasanjo came from prison to president. Thank you. So, yes, any further question? I'm seeing some people in the house. That question, Madam Sotoyin, it really hit me, and it's been a very thick issue. I don't know, media, so yes, can you show some of the, so I want to show you some things that I need, especially Christians, to see the consequence of, is Mrs., sorry, is Ironya, you around? Ironya, if she's not around. So please, let's move on. Let's see the next picture. So this is somebody that was told to come back. This is a child. She, while taking care of her child, and this is the beating she got from the husband. Can you see that? Can you see that? She's left twice, but was brought back, said that she should go back and endure. So she's breastfeeding. And what they kept telling her is that he would change. So my question is it that they don't see this? Can you send your own child back to this? Can we move to another? I will tell you what this is. Please, the next one. The next one, please. There's one, I think, I hope Madam Modupe. The next one, please. Please, let me. So, one minute. I would, although they say she was telling me that she doesn't want it to be shown. Please. Viewer discretion is so no, we need to see it, because why Osinachi was a chorister, and I think hers was the 8th of April. She had separated for 1 year, 2 months, 3 months, 1 year, 3 months. But she was told to go back by her pastor that you are a gospel musician and you want to divorce. How many churches will call you to come and sing, seeing that you know you are divorced? You know God hates divorce. And by my position in the Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria, I will make sure you have to, knowing that that is what she does for a living. She sings for a living. So if churches don't call her, have you gotten it? If churches don't call her, she will not make money. So she came back. Today she's dead with what? 4 children. The father is in prison. The mother is dead. Where are the 4 children? They are separated all over because her twin sister reached out to us and I was like, they can't take care of her, that they are even struggling. So what will happen? But if she stayed alive, at least she'll be able to gather her children together. Very, very gruesome. But you have to see it. This was in Ikorodu 3 weeks ago. The sister is supposed to be here. The sister of this, she is a chorister as well, lead singer, a musician. She's released some gospel songs. She was killed by what? Stabbed in Ikorodu, Oriokuta. So please go back to that passport picture. Have you seen this? This is go back. This is go back. This is what ended. She was stabbed. This is the man that killed her. So we have the passport. He's declared wanted now. He ran away. Guess what? Have you seen the date of birth? He's 63 years old. 7 years from being 70. Been together with her for what? For about 7 years now. So please go back to the girl that was in the hospital. There was a girl in the hospital. This is the daughter. He also stabbed her in the abdomen because she came to try to fight for her mother. So ruptured bladder. She's been in the hospital for 2 weeks. The sister I was supposed to, this is the case that we're handling now at the state CID. The man has been declared wanted. We forwarded pictures to airports and all that. He was a former banker. When he ran, he left his phone and the passport was expired. So, you know, ladies and gentlemen, this is a 63-year-old man. How long does he have left to live? The sister brought the case to me. It was very, very terrible. And, you know, she came on she spoke on my radio program to talk about her sister, who is a chorister. In fact, a lead. In fact, 2 days before this, they just came back from a ministration where she did the praise worship and all that in the church. What I'm telling you is that you are seeing Christians dying more than any other. So when these people that are heads of counseling, guidance and counseling and marriage counseling, they don't know this. Isn't it better? You see, God is the God of the living. So will God say, go back? No. Let us look at the story of the woman that was caught in adultery, where they came to Jesus and Jesus said, let he that is without sin cast the first stone. There were 2 things wrong with that scenario. First of all, by the Old Testament law, both the man and the woman caught in adultery should be stoned. But through the passage of time, they excused the man and will stone only the woman. So men always got away with it. Now you bring this same thing to Jesus and he's looking at where's the man who was also caught? And then he says, let he that is without sin cast the first stone. They all left. Now, what is remarkable there? Jesus said, where are the people that accuse you? He said, there is none left, my Lord. He said what? Go. What did he say? Go. Did he say go back to your? He said go. So please tell me, where would the woman have gone? Now, her husband was part of the people that wanted to stone. Why? How do I know? Because the husband must be the witness that she is married. So the husband is always there. The husband will be there to say, yes, this is my wife. So the husband was amongst those people who wanted to stone. Was it written there that go back? Jesus said, go. So the first place that woman went to is a place of safety. I can guarantee you that. Jesus did not say, go back to your husband's house. He said, go. You should at times read, the Old Testament was written in Aramaic and Hebrew. The New Testament was written in Greek. So at times when you are confused, you go to Greek, the Greek translation. It explains better. So you know that looking back right from time has made people pillars of salt. I said, when you are going, just go. Christians should know that God is not sending you to die. And I keep playing this, I showed some. The last time I came, I showed you some. These are new. Every month, we are burying. This is 3 people last month. We keep burying. And there has been no other religion since. No other religion since that we have been handling. It's Christian, 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 Christian. Last year, 4 pastors. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are in an abusive marriage, there is no wisdom in remaining in danger. Even a dog will run away. An animal will run away. How is it man, whose wisdom surpasses all the animals, will use religion to stay? In this name of religion, parents have buried their children, telling them, parents have supervised the afflictions of them. It is only religion that can make a parent watch their child being beaten, battered, and bruised, and say nothing and do nothing. It is only religion and tradition. They will say in our lineage, nobody has. You want to be the first person to know? Go back. And in that way, we have buried a generation. Thank you, ma. Please, microphone for. Okay.
Good day, everyone. I'm Uom Wilson. Please, I want to understand that abuse is not only limited to physical abuse.
Absolutely.
I know there's something called verbal abuse. Now, my question is, when do one draw the line between verbal abuse? Because most times before it gets to this point, you see them being very verbally abusive. They tell you things and the rest of that. When do one draw the line and know that you do not have to wait until it becomes physical? Please.
Thank you very much. So there is emotional abuse is what it is called. Emotional abuse, words said. From there, it gets to psychological abuse, which is creating fear. From the word psycho, you have psychological. And a psycho is referred to someone as someone who is mentally unstable. So abuse, as you have rightly said, starts from words. There's nothing you do right. That's how your mother too did not stay. When you start hearing those words, do you know abuse is not in your marriage vow? It is to love and to cherish, in sickness and in health. That marriage vow self should be, it is not in the Bible. It was written by Thomas Kramer in 1847. It was written by a man, but somehow Christians have adopted it. It was written to curb a problem, a common law marriage in England at that time. So they now put till death do us part. That is very wrong. It tells you that the only thing that can do you part is death. But abuse should also be in that vow. So that from the beginning we know that the moment you start abuse and violence, the marriage is over. A woman told me that the man always tells her to leave the house, and I asked her, why are you still there? The moment a person tells you that you are no longer needed, the honorable thing is to leave. And I left, he came to beg me back. No, you don't have a second opportunity to create a first impression. It is called first impression. From the beginning, you need to have seen some character. That's why I tell you, you need to date people before you marry them. Dating is getting to know the character of a person. And after dating, you now come to that point that with all that I know, can I take this for the rest of my life? But we don't date. The moment a person asks us, as we say, come and see my pastor. And the moment you say, come and see my pastor, or we are dating. Christians have that thing. The moment they are dating someone, I was in a church and the man was praying that God should restore all broken marriage and relationships. And I said the relationships were broken for a reason. If it's because the man abuses me and I leave, you said God will restore. I said, no. I did not even answer that. I said there are some prayers we should not be saying. The moment abuse starts, how your food is not sweet, how you don't know how to do anything, or how you're a useless man. Is this the way your mates do? They are buying this for the... And you know you are working hard. And you see that you are not appreciated. Even God will not stay. You think God goes where he is not welcome? God does not go where, and I'm like my father. It's where I am welcome and celebrated I go. The moment you tell me how useless I am, I pack, and I don't even have power. You people are strong. You are strong, oh. One time, you tell me how stupid I am, I don't have sense. The relationship then no longer makes sense. When abuse starts, everything stops. So, reproduction, number one, stops. You cannot be reproducing in abuse. Be reproducing your abuser. You find that is why women, you must have something doing. You must have a job. You must have a business. You must have a means of income. So that for the evil day, one day the husband loses the job, problem. One day the husband dies suddenly, problem. Oh, they become beggars. And then you go and meet this uncle, you go and meet her. After some time, someone says, oh yeah, come now, we give you, but come and meet me in room 202. And that's how you start accusing them of sleeping around. It's because they have nothing to fall back on. A woman, you must have something. You must have something. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Barrister. My name is Peter Owoferia. All right, I have a very, very funny scenario that just happened just this week.
Okay.
Right now, I'm really, really confused in the sense that a wise person will see evil and avoid it, but this particular person is seeing the evil and she chose by her own self to go into it again. She left her husband home, I think that should be about 2-3 months ago, came to her sister's place. In fact, she complained the husband really was giving her emotional abuse and whatsoever. And the sister was telling her, not that after we now gather to assist to rent a house, you will now... She said, no, that she packed out. 2 months ago, she packed out. In fact, I run a school, and the sister works in my school. She has 4 children. The 2 of them, they were not going to school, the 2 last kids. So they brought them to my school. I said, okay, you can pay later. no problem. Because of what I've been learning, I said, no problem. But I said, you won't believe that last week, Wednesday, she came to the school, said she wants to see me. I said, how there's no problem? She said, no. I said, there's no problem. That she wants to go back to the husband's house. I said, okay, I don't understand, please. Okay, fine. Did he come to plead? He said, no, he didn't come to plead. That, of course, that I'm aware that she sent her 2 kids, the senior ones, back to him because they had an agreement to go to the village to settle. In fact, the husband told her, enter motor from here to Calabar. Going and coming is about 70,000. The husband did not give her 10 kobo. She went and came back, no settlement, nothing. Yes, she sent her 2 kids, the senior kids, back to the husband. And she came and met me on Wednesday that she wants to go back to the house. That she had a dream that the 2 kids, the senior ones, they are in a problem. And I said, okay, hold on. You have a dream now. Let's say, for example, you have a dream that your senior kids are in hellfire, for example, now. So you now want to carry yourself and your 2 other kids to go and join them. In fact, right now, I'm really confused. Even the sister that is working with me, that one too, she's so angry. Now, in this case, who do you blame?
So, you know, when I started this thing, I was very emotional. I would go to their houses. I came in through the toilet window of somebody. You know, the toilet window is smaller than, to pull the woman out because the man went to buy petrol and said he was going to burn. So I would be so emotional. I'd be begging. You see this thing, begging. I would talk. I would be exhausted, out of breath when I get home. So there was this particular case. Very violent man and with money. So we took the woman. See the beating. We now took this woman, because she had nothing, we took her to 𝗣𝗥𝗙𝗘𝗥, got a 2-bedroom for her and 3 children. To start, raise some money for her to start a little trade, and she started looking better. She would call, her voice was different. So about 4 months after, we just said, let us stroll to 𝗣𝗥𝗙𝗘𝗥 to go and visit this woman. When we knocked on the door, it was the husband that opened the door. So, you know, I looked, I said, good afternoon. Then I was like, I was a bit confused because I wasn't expecting, I didn't even know that was the husband. So she came, barrister, you didn't tell me you were coming. I said, now wow, that. He said, you know, God has done it. That, you know, he came and, you know, he has been here for, it was going to 2 months. So I was paying rent for you and the man that we saved. I went outside. You know, I came back inside. There's something I did. I said, that day, they should pack out. She said, you are not God. That you are not God. Is it because I reconciled with my husband? I said, today, the man was like, you know, let's kick. You see the way I was kicking things out of the house. You know, I don't even know how the rent went after that because I threw them out, and thank God that I didn't put the rent in the woman's name. Because I almost did. I said they should put her name there now. It was that agent that said, that you should put your, because you are the one paying, or put your, it was the agent. I kicked them out of. I said, we save, you see, some people, they will never. So I've stopped being upset. I've stopped being emotional about it. So, sir, don't even bother you. Expect it. Expect it. Expect that they will go back. It's not our problem, but the thing is that you will never come back to me again. That you know, I should have listened to it. No, you will never come back to me again. That's why my own is one chance. Once I follow you, we do this, we do that, we do this. And then you go back. You belong. Don't bother yourself. Wish them all the best. So this one that you are collecting money, you didn't collect their school fees, Abi. You said they will pay later. Now that they've gone back, have they paid you? We should even be bringing children to your school. Sure, you will be doing pay later, Abi. All that, when I was in the university, a gentleman had a dream. In the dream, I've said this a lot. He was kicking a stone in the dream. And then he kicked the stone, and the stone rolled to the feet of one Sister Esther then in school. And when he woke up that morning, he just said, God just showed him his wife. How? Because he was kicking a stone in the dream. I said, I don't think. He got married to how? Their marriage lasted 6 months. 6 months. He found out that Sister Esther was not really Sister Esther when they got married. Because he was so adamant that he knows how God talks to him. He knows, that he knows it. I said, because you are kicking a stone in the dream. When people come and they tell me I had a dream, now God reveals to some people in dreams. I will not deny the veracity of dreams. But this one that God is showing you your wife and in a dream, because it has never happened in the Bible before. It has even never happened from Genesis to Revelation that God said, this is your wife. It is not in the Bible. So it has no precedent. It has no precedent. When you tell me God, can you just tell me where it is in the Bible that God said, this is your husband or this is your wife? You know what they would tell me? They'll say, Isaac's, when Abraham sent the servant Eliezer to go and look for a wife for, and he stood by the well, and then said, God, if this is, should I explain that thing to you? No, don't let me. Don't let me. Yes, you want to add addendum. No, it's that thing. You need to read things, not just say, God, what do you want to say, please? He's behind you.
Okay, I'll be short. Sir, I think you can write down trauma bond and you can write down Stockholm syndrome. This area of domestic violence, trauma, pain, they're not in everyday life. That's why many people are like, what's going on, what's going on? People go to school for years to go and study it. That's why he's talking about, education, skill sets. There are therapists that attend to this, people that have been through all this violence and abuse. So a woman that has been with a man that has abused her for years, even though she has left, what such people need is to go for actually therapy. You go, you talk to a trained person that they will help you unpack what you've been through. Without that, what happens is you have been trauma bonded. You've gone through something and your reality, your normal now is trauma. So you are not okay to be happy, to just go somewhere and they are protecting you and life is beautiful. You are no longer comfortable with a beautiful life. You are used to suffering. So that is why statistics show that women or men that have been abused, they go back like up to once, twice, three, up to 7 times they return to their abuser. Or they look for a brand new abuser. It's a mental condition. It's an emotional condition. So many times, apart from saving them, put them in, they actually need therapy. They can combine it with prayer. But to leave them like that and be amazed that, why are they going back? That's what they do. So don't be surprised, don't be amazed. And if you want to know about it, Google trauma bond, Google Stockholm syndrome. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Madam Woodward, I agree, but also I disagree. So is an explanation for Stockholm Syndrome. Is when someone starts feeling sympathy for their abuser. It's actually a serious matter. It's research. It is proven. So it's not that she's just talking. It's something that extensive research has proven. However, from the very beginning, when the United Nations carried out another research and found out that children who were raised in abusive homes and their mothers stayed will also stay. Do you understand? When your parents, and that is why I keep telling you that raising a child, everything is, and you hear that my mother did not live. So she tried to make it, even though she died in the process, they will, because that is how they were raised. They saw, endured, and remain in abuse. So how do we break this cycle of people remaining in the abusers? When Esau and Jacob, Esau deceived the father, took Abi. Who took the blessing of who? Jacob took the blessing of Esau. And then when Esau came, the father was like, he has taken everything. And he said, isn't there one left? I said, there is none left. But he now said something. He said, but when you are restless, you will raise his yoke from off your neck. So the beginning of liberation is restlessness. That is when enough is enough. So I tell people, there is a Yoruba proverb, it simply means the day you decide that enough is the day that, and that is where a leader is born. When they are talking of leadership, people think leadership is when you are leading people. No, leadership is you. It's just you. This day you decide. And the problem with people is from their childhood. When you are raised in a home of violence and both of them remain in violence, when they grow up, they marry their fathers. That is, they marry the next, and they remain because their mother remained, because their father remained. And that is why it is very important that women should leave abusive marriages and men should leave abusive marriages because of the children. In developed countries, the moment abuse is established in a home, the state takes the children away. Why? Why not take the victim away? It is the children they take away immediately from school. You know, if in the school they discover that this child is abused, social services, they come to the school. From the school, they don't even take the child, but they take. Why? Because of the potential threat that child will be to other children. And as an adult, the possibility of becoming a violent or an abusive spouse. So what do they take them? They take them to homes where they recalibrate their settings. This is where religion comes into play. I said if I'm the pastor of a church, Sunday services, you know policemen are coming. Praise worship, police are dancing inside. And I just point, Brother Mike, you beat your wife. And they just, you just be picking, you know, people will be saying, let's go to church, or we don't know who pastor will carry this. because that church will be free of domestic violence. All the children will grow up well. When they are sick, you will know, you will not even come to church. You see, tell people that you are going to this church, they know that there can't be domestic violence in your husband will beg you, let us not go to that church. Your wife will beg you, because that one that you are protecting people. You know, when I was in the state CID, I worked with the gender unit. 2 years ago, the OC Gender said, if only your pastors can stop bailing these people, they will get to court. It is the pastors that will come. When they have been arrested, it is their pastors that show up. And they respect, you see, policemen respect, but you know, when they see that, they say, Pastor, what do you want? They say, no, don't worry. I will talk to him. I will talk to him. Who is talking to us in Achi's husband now? Who is talking to this man that we are? That's how you damage generations. And, you know, I said we have to change that. So now I will be joining the pastors in my petition as an accessory to the crime. So since then, in the state CID, it has been reducing. Because not only that, I will mention the name of the pastor and the church. How can you now, incest, a man got his own daughter pregnant, and they said he has prayed for forgiveness. Who am I to charge who God has forgiven? Can you imagine? That was what I was told. It was as if it's not Christianity again. And they are living in the same house with the wife. The wife is dead. The daughter is 4 months pregnant. The wife was 7 months pregnant. In the same house. Said they've talked to him. Let us start a church safe. If it is possible for me to, I can swear to you that it will not happen from all their family members that will show up. We will be arresting them all one after the other. We will have family cells where it is for one. That is the Okechukwu family cell. We will help and donate money to help the police and the state build extended prisons just for victims of domestic violence. And do you know that 50% of Nigerians in prison in the UK are for domestic violence and abuse? They said that's the result of our 𝗧𝗪𝗪 syndrome, that we are exporting domestic violence also to other parts of the world. I was told also that Nigerians in South Africa that are in prison are mainly for domestic violence. Canada too is coming up. They say about 17%. That is, Nigerians are so entrenched in that. You travel out and you keep doing it because you are used to getting away with it here. You get away with it here. You beat the... Do you know how many people have lost? There was a woman that we saw. Her hands were burnt together. Was it 3 weeks ago? A policeman cut off the hand of his wife because he took 3,000 naira from his savings. They had an argument. He went and brought out a cutlass and he's a policeman. They arrested him, and the neighbor said they've told this woman that this man will kill you. She goes to report to the police. I said, what is this? He's a policeman. You are going to report the abuser to another abuser. Just go. Now you married whole. You are coming with one limb missing. It's not by force. Ladies and gentlemen, it is not by force. But till that time where it is not tolerated even by religion, that is when we will cure this, as long as there's an excuse. You see them sitting in front of the church, carrying Bibles. At times, even the main pastor, someone called me, she's married to a Muslim. And the condition was that, okay, they should go and do marriage counseling in church. So the head of the marriage counseling was living in the same estate as they are. One day, the man was beating his wife. The wife ran into their own house. And the husband, who is a Muslim, now said, these are the people that are doing marriage counseling for us. The moment religion says enough is enough, then there will be no hiding place. But as long as you give them a place to come and say, hey, I'm sorry, please, and they will come, hey, he has apologized, come back. Problem. And I always tell them, I say, may your children also go back into affliction. It's not, you can't be supervising some other people's affliction, their pains, their sorrows. You can't be supervising it. You say, no, it's not enough. Come back. As long as, somebody was excommunicated from the church because he left an abusive marriage. Said, as long as you leave, you are no longer welcome in this church. There's religion. You need reorientation. To know that this abuse we are talking about is a matter of life and death. Not only that, it's a matter of generations, because the children also will grow. And what they don't know is that their sons will marry your daughters. And then the consequence of that will be visited on your own children as well. Please, questions. We have... It's 2:30. We have about 30 minutes more. Yes, please. Go ahead. Everybody is usually quiet after some time.
Okay. I think mine is an addendum. So we're talking about when we're talking about people that say they received revelation about the person they should marry. So I just wanted, and I was just saying to my brother sitting here, I said that in my own understanding, even from scripture, I recall that Abraham, so the story of Abraham when he asked his servant to go look for a wife for Isaac. So I was just saying that to him when you also made reference to it. Now, I find it quite interesting that we know that Abraham was constantly in communication with God. Right? So, in fact, God said he was his friend. And if he spoke to Abraham about different other issues, he would, if God wanted to choose a wife for him, in the same vein, he should have told him, this is the woman that your son Isaac should marry. But that did not happen. Abraham had to go search through his servant. He sent his servant, go search for a wife for my son Isaac. Now, it was the servant that when he got to where he was going to, he made a prayer to say, God, the person that is coming, let the lady that will do this and this and this, let her be the one, So to me, what that represents is the servant praying to God to ask for the spirit of discernment so that I will know the right person to choose. So that's my own, in my own understanding, So you can pray about it, but it's not as if God will say, call your name 3 times and say, is this particular person or is that other person? So I think that's it's so important for people to understand that. And when it comes to choosing your life partner, that you're deliberate about it. You're intentional about it. So, having said that, Paris, I just wanted to ask, in view of everything that you know and all of the information you're putting out there, I wanted to ask if you have what I would call marriage. I know churches do marriage counseling, but now that we've identified that the same churches still have issues, I want to ask, do you have your own marriage counseling session with intending couples? And if yes, for how long do you do it? Because I think that for someone who has so much knowledge and understanding of the fundamentals of marriage, that it would be a good idea to do that if you do not have. I just thought to ask. I believe it will help a lot of intending couples in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, ma. So, yes, I do. And the counseling for me is 2 hours. It's not a matter of days. So just 2 hours. So I will, that Abraham's, hello, ma. Sorry, we Christians, we have the higher problem. Yes. No, I'm talking to my Muslim sister here. Yes. When we have 87% failure, it's the sick people that go to the hospital. It's not people that are all right. You understand? So don't mind us. We are quoting the Bible a lot because we have a lot. Now I'm going to go to that Genesis. We have to Genesis 24, where Abraham told. I think people need to understand that. Genesis 24:4. Abraham called his servant and said, "But thou shalt go unto my country, 1, and to my kindred, 2, and take a wife unto my son Isaac." Now, go to my country, 1, then to my kindred, 2. The assignment was binary. Now, the gentleman took a lot of things and then swore to the master and then went. Now in verse 10, he arose and went to Mesopotamia, the city of Nahor, which was the country. Now remember, he said, go to my country, then go to my kindred. So he went to the country, Mesopotamia, unto the city of Nahor, and then made his camels kneel down without the city, that's outside the city, by a well of water at the time of the evening, even at the time that women go out to draw water. The issue was, what was he doing there? What was he doing there? He was given an assignment, go to my country, go to my kindred. So he went to the country, but then sat under a tree and started waiting for women to come out. If you are to read it carefully, you will see that he was lost. He didn't know where to get the kindred. He went straight to the country. Why didn't he go straight to the kindred? But he now went to stay under a tree. Eliezer was lost. And then he saw women coming out of the well, coming to the well to fetch. And he said, "And let it come to pass that the damsel to whom I shall say, let down thy pitcher, I pray thee, that I may drink. And she shall say, drink, and I will give thy camels to drink also. Let it be that that woman is the one that you have appointed for your servant Isaac." Okay. So why was the prayer that specific? He could have easily said a woman that gave me water. But he said that gives me water and would also give my camels water. The prayer was too specific. Why? The answer is simple. That was the tradition of his master. He knew that Abraham would give not only the stranger water, but their animals water. So he knew that was the tradition of his master. So to find the kindred, he was looking for someone whose tradition was the same as that of the master, his master Abraham, who would give not only the stranger, but, and what was he looking for? Kindred, that is his people. And when he now saw it, but have you noticed that God did not say anything in all this? Have you noticed that there was no word from God that said, this is the wife? Have you noticed? There was absolute silence from heaven. So now, it's like you go to a canteen and you are looking for someone from Oyo State. And then you hear, 𝗖𝗢𝗨𝗡𝗥𝗏𝗧𝗏𝗘𝗥. You know that. Yes. Or you are looking for somebody from Calabar. You hear, give me that 𝗖𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙. You just know that. So that was the same thing he did, because he found the country but could not find the kindred. So he sat down and said a prayer for the character. And when the woman said, I will give you and your camels, he knew that this must be my master's people. And then what did he do? He got to the house and found out that she was the master's cousin. If you do not understand that Isaac married his cousin, which was not ideal. It wasn't ideal. Number one, the servant took a lazy way out. So if you want to use that as your own supporting structure, then you must marry a relative. Because what he did was just marry his brother's daughter. Meanwhile, he said, go to my kindred. That is my people. There were so many other people from that kindred. But the first woman he met, he did not even go further. Took her, though they were related, took her, and then he married his cousin. So when people use that, I'm now saying, don't you understand the prayer was a prayer to locate kindred? What was he doing under the tree? He was lost. He could only go as far as Mesopotamia. Where at the kindred? He didn't know where. So he stayed under a tree. Hello? Please, does it make sense? So when you now use this as a basis, and I will tell you that now we know that you cannot marry the person you are related to. Either by blood, it is called incest. By degrees of affinity or congeniality, as a lawyer, you would know that you cannot marry people you are related to. So this is a marriage within the family. We don't do this now. So when you want to use this as your foundation, then you must go ahead and marry somebody. You can't take one part and leave the other part. Take everything. You must marry someone who you are also related. I thought Elijah was a bit lazy. I thought he was a bit lazy. When he found couldn't he look for women? But he wasn't even interested. He said, this woman, he just wasn't interested. Like, let us just hurry up and let us go back. They could have housed him regardless, because he was the servant of Abraham, the brother. They would have housed him, and you say, we are looking for a wife for your brother sent me to look for. And you say, there's one girl here. You know, he did not, but he took his own cousin, married the cousin. So the look on people's faces, if you can just end the church service and share the grace, let everybody go home. Yes, ma. Okay, sorry. Yes.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
My name is Vivian. I'm from Ikorodu subgroup.
Hey, Madam Vivian.
Yes, sir. About this marriage that we're talking about, last 3 weeks, remember we talked last 3 weeks about my younger brother that stays in Ghana. That he told me, he just called me that, auntie, hey, there's this girl that I'm friend, you know. The girl came to his house, he said, Dan, my mom is a younger sister that is late. She came to my dream, she gave me a baby. What should I do? I said, how can someone give the girl the lady a baby?
In her dream?
In her dream. She said that I should advise her. So that is why I now send the voice note to Barrister. And what Barrister told me, and I send it to her back, to my brother back. So she was saying that, auntie, thank you for doing her. That the girl is older than him. And the girl was every time we say, Dan, are you not going to marry me? And I told Dan, if you want to, you know you are in Ghana, if you want to marry, can you transport everybody to Ghana? So you should be very, very careful. So last week she called me that auntie, he has broken up with that lady because he's not promised. My brother is just a kind of person that is very careful in that. He cannot tell a person that I love you. He will not say I love you, not commit himself. So after telling him that, you have to be very, very careful. That girls, they can use that. Although if the lady is pregnant for you, that does not mean that you're going to marry her. So I just thank you, Barrister, because I've not having time to tell you thank you. My brother said he has broken up with the lady, and everybody have gone their separate ways.
Thank you, ma. Thank you, ma. I remember you said the lady came and said in her dream they gave her a baby. The baby is it for your brother? These things should scare somebody. When somebody is telling you in the dream, they gave me a whole baby. To do what? that something is coming. You know, I told you that something is coming. It is just a prelude to the full, the full movie. Thank you. Yes, ma.
Thank you, Barrister, for all you do.
Thank you, ma.
Please, I want to ask this. A man that maybe have been abusing the wife for some years, not like beating, or like emotional abuse, like when she does anything, you lock her outside. Sometimes when she's sick, you do as if you don't even know. Things like that. And at a point, the woman concluded she's leaving. And the families rise up. Even the father of the woman himself says he has gone to meet one pastor, and he said he had prayed about it, that if the woman should leave, the man will go mad, and the stuffs like that. And now, and also they are even saying maybe the children will not be well trained. So now the man is now saying he had turned a new leaf, that he wants to be a new person. My question here now is that, looking at the outside world, like how the society itself, does it mean single mothers cannot train their children properly? That's number one. Number two, that man that pretends now that he had turned a new leaf and truly he is acting differently according to what we heard again now.
How long has it been that he started acting different?
Just like maybe a few months ago now.
Okay.
Like, can you tell us that, can the man really change? And also the man said when we called him, they said everything he was doing, that he never knew it was wrong.
You lock a woman out of the house at night.
Not once.
And you didn't
twice.
know it was wrong.
The first one was at night. The second one was, like, I think in the morning till around evening. And everybody was calling him, begging, please, this, that. And the woman even told him that day that, okay, see, I'm menstruating and I'm soaked. And he never, for that reason, come to open the door for her. And now he's promising us that he had turned a new leaf, and everybody wants this person to stay. Now she's there, but she's complaining that she's not okay. To the extent that she was sick recently, and it was like a chest pain. She went to the hospital, did several x-rays and tests, and they said nothing was wrong with the chest. And the doctor had to call her that, madam, you are thinking, do you have a parent? Go tell your parent, like that, like that. But now, both the family, the pastors, everybody wants her to stay, and she's there now, she's not happy, with 4 kids. So what do you advise such women? And do you think that man can really change with what he's doing now?
So are you part of the family that wants her to stay? So let me start with you. I think we should have a soundtrack. You know, when we want to talk, we just be playing something, you know, then. You see, I don't blame every other person. It is the woman herself that I blame. Because she is now a social experiment to see whether someone can change. Those people that told her to stay, have they been locked out while menstruating? No. Have they been beaten, battered, and bruised? No. But they are telling, you see, there's what we call psychosomatic illness. You know, it is illnesses of the mind. When they check your body, everything is okay. But you see, a sick mind is a sick body. When you are depressed, you have every symptom. You will have symptom of migraine, you have symptom of gonorrhea, you have symptom of everything will be wrong with you at the same time. From chest pain, check, it will be headache. From there, you see that you start having muscle cramps. It's called psychosomatic illness. It's a psychosomatic illness. That is, it is an illness of the mind manifesting in the body. When your heart is sick, is tired, frustrated, feeling of hopelessness, feeling of depression, lots of it. That is why, you see, I don't know if the Quran has cherub. You have Jesus always saying, be of good cheer, be of good cheer. He wants you to cheer up, because in happiness is strength. Sadness is weakness. You have your years cut down by 40 years, according to a study, when you are sorrowful. Why is it that people are telling you what to do? Are you not old enough to take a decision? It's the trials of a simpleton, where people will be telling you that are receiving the beating to remain in the beating. Why not come and join me in the beating? And then we can talk to each other. There was a woman that the mother was telling her she should stay because the guy gives the mother money, the mother supports. So one day the girl gave birth and the mother came to do Omugo. The man in his drunken way came and then triggered and started beating the girl. The mother now said, stop. The man beat the mother. That night, the mother said, we are leaving. I said, why? Because she has now seen people telling you to stay that have not seen what you are going through. They have not experienced it, but they're the one. It is not them that is the problem. It is you that are staying. And if that woman dies, or if that woman has a stroke, if that woman has BP, has something that is now incurable, all of you are responsible though. They don't live long. Sorrow is what they call depression now. Yes, ma'am.
Praise the Lord.
Hallelujah.
I want to address the question that my sister asked. If a single mother can be able to bring up children properly. I'm a single mother by the grace of God, and I have 4 of them. And I didn't leave any of them behind. I took
all of them
with me, and God has been a help. I decided to talk because about 3 Sundays ago, we had a Sunday school, and they were teaching about this marriage. Whenever they want to teach about this marriage, actually, I don't used to join. But that very day, I was in the church, and when it was time for question and answer, this mother, she's an elderly woman, she stood up, and if you see the energy she was putting in, that no, she can never allow her child to marry a child that is brought up by a single mother. After she had borne all the suffering, she's staying with her husband, then her child will come and bring a girl that brought up with a single mother. I was really depressed. That Monday, it was a Sunday into that Monday, I was just down, thinking about it. What sort of thought is this? What sort of mindset is this? So when I got to the office, I was forced to start googling it. And I found out that Obama, the president of America, was brought up by a single mother. And I found out that Les Brown, the great speaker, was adopted by a single mother who brought him up and is doing great things. So those are the
LeBron James.
Those are the things that now encourage me, man.
Was raised
a
by
single mother. I have 4 of them, as I told you. My last baby is 16, and she's an undergraduate as I'm talking to you right now.
Thank you. Maybe I didn't tell you that I married someone who also had who raised 3 children. Maybe I didn't tell you. No, maybe you don't know. Maybe you don't know. And the 3 children, you can't even ask. I kept asking how she managed, because the first is 27, he's a graduate. The second 2 also a graduate. The third is also an undergraduate. I don't know where they read from. I don't know where they learn from. I don't know the fact that you refuse to die in a union and you save yourself and your children, and somebody says because you refuse to die there, they can't marry your. Let us see where they will marry for. It's not a problem. It's not a problem. Your children, believe me, are healthier. Do you understand? Your children will be able to withstand pressure because they saw it, they saw your reaction. Your children will be better off because they saw how Don't even worry about that. That's how some people would let, maybe because you are strong, another person will just go and jump in the lagoon, commit suicide because they victimize, they victimize the victim. They victimize the victim. And when you say you want to, there are some people that are workers, the moment you say you are in an abusive marriage, you want to leave, they say you can no longer be a worker. They remove you from the workforce. Why? Because you want to leave an abusive marriage. Those are the things. You should support them.
I said, churches don't talk about single parenthood enough. I remember before we got married, I think I told you, in Redeem, it was a challenge. So you are either, there are always the good women, the men, I can't remember what they call the men in Redeem, excellent men, and then you have the teenagers. So when they're having their meeting, as a single mother, I wasn't married, so I wouldn't know where to fit in. And I was a Sunday school teacher, but I wouldn't know where to fit in. I can't join good women, no husband.
Because you're a bad woman.
So it got to a stage. I had to, I think my parish was lucky. We had a very educated, enlightened, and understanding pastor. At that time he was working in Sharon. He was highly enlightened. So I had to sum up the courage to talk to him that, sir, you are leaving some of us out. And many of the women too are still staying in abuse because they won't know where to fit in if they leave. And during his own time, he started, he first of all told all of us to go and join good women. That for you to come out of abuse and train your children, you are good women. Oya, alele, that's what he said. Alele, oya, to good women. So he did that. But I cannot say the same thing of the pastor that came after him. That one was a doctrinal pastor. So I want to say that maybe when you have such a situation next time, you have to be bold. Don't let anybody bring you down, because the truth is that it's easy for women, especially single women, single mothers, to be depressed. And then even though we say we've left abuse, because we are bitter, we are depressed, we transfer it to the children unknowingly. And the children becomes withdrawn. So please, when such a woman who feels that she knows too much, stand up to say the rubbish that she's saying, you will stand up to rubbish her.
I wasn't there. I wasn't there. Please carry on. Oh God. You see, knowledge is, they say, power. The Bible says my people are destroyed for lack of, it's not lack of prayer, it's not lack of anything, but just, then it goes forward to say wisdom is the principal thing. That means above all, wisdom is, and you have to understand that God is who we believe he is because of wisdom. They say the all-wise God. So how can I have an all-wise God and be pathologically foolish? It doesn't, you have to rise in wisdom to even be a Christian. I think wisdom should be a criteria for Christianity. Knowledge. You have to talk to a group of intelligent people. You have to talk to a group of intelligent people. You will do big things with intelligent people. It is well, though. We have about 3 more minutes to go. Abi? I'm seeing 3 different. This is 2:59. 1 minute. So Before, it's every third Saturday of the month. Anything before we close? If you have something you would like to say, it might not be a question, it could be an addendum in a minute. I think single women, single mothers going through abuse should have a fellowship. Not a fellowship, a group where they come together to encourage each other, because depression is when everybody tells you, oh, she's a single mother. Some people, the way my son cannot marry a single mother. You know, I didn't invite my family to my wedding. I don't know if I told you that. So they were worried that how can no family member come? I said, leave me and my family. Let us concentrate. And you know, you can rent families now. You know that. You can rent them. Whether they will come with 𝗖𝗢𝗨𝗡𝗥𝗚, they will. But the issue is that you must be able to decide. You must be able to make up your mind, not on sentiment. The single mother was also a single woman before, because she trusted you or trusted somebody, and that made her. And there are some that are there by their own hand. There are some that are there as a consequence of their own action. Nothing to us. Thank you very much, everybody. Anyone with any addendum, anything to say before we... Yes, sir. There's...
My name is Dixon Ukana from Yaba. I actually stay at 𝗖𝗢𝗙𝗘𝗥.
Awesome.
I work with Eco Electric. And,
Band A people.
Yes. I love to be a member of your volunteer
group.
Yes.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir. And yes, sir.
Sorry, I'll be again. The volunteer thing, I don't know, looking at my condition, I don't know. Is it something?
Oh, we have visually impaired volunteers as well.
Oh, good, good.
We have.
Oh, good.
In fact, I think the chairman of the, there's a visually impaired, is it association or something in Lagos State? Their chairman is also a member of our volunteer group.
Okay, I'm interested.
Thank you very much. So, Madam Sotoye is in your axis. Okay, thank you. Yes, sir. Oh, somebody there? No, go ahead, go ahead.
All right, concerning the volunteer stuff, that's why I actually came, because when I heard you, I listened to you this morning, and you didn't say it in detail how to be part of it. That's why I came.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah, quickly, two things. On behalf of everybody that is seated here, I want to appreciate the barrister for this good work. The Lord is your strength.
Amen. Amen.
And you will not die on the way like smoke or fire.
Amen. Amen.
Then secondly, I want to beg you, sir, if you won't mind, anytime you are announcing on the radio show about this blue curtain,
purple curtain.
I mean purple curtain, sorry.
Not the problem.
Purple curtain. I want to suggest that, please, sir, you can as well announce that if anybody that want to come to this place, that from 𝗖𝗢𝗙𝗘𝗥𝗦, they should be able to trace this place on the way to 𝗖𝗢𝗙𝗘𝗥. Because I was going to drop at Stadium bus stop, but I just on a second thought, I decided to ask a friend that is living at somewhere around Yaba. He was the one that directed me that I should get that 𝗖𝗢𝗙𝗥𝗦, that from 𝗖𝗢𝗙𝗥𝗦 I should take a bus that is going to 𝗖𝗢𝗙𝗘𝗥 and drop at 𝗖𝗢𝗙𝗪𝗓, so which is very, very straightforward. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. I just started getting used to Lagos. I don't know road. I'm just starting to know road. So I think I would take that, and I would also announce, even me, I'm not the best person to ask for directions. You can't ask a confused person for direction too. Thank you very much. So I would share a number for those of us that want to join the volunteer network. It is just, what we need is just your name and your local government where you stay. The idea of the volunteer network is to be a voice in your area. You don't have to go any other to any, just your area, against domestic violence and abuse, child abuse. So we have volunteers in all the local governments of Lagos State. So you would also be linked up with people in your area. So whenever there is a case we have in your area, we notify you that in your area so and so is going on. Also, we have a general platform, and the number will be displayed now, and you just send a WhatsApp message of your name and your local government area, and the person will reach out to you, and then you will be added to the group. It's just very, very simple. But we don't like redundant members or people that are just there because you just want to be, let them say that we are also there. I'm a member. It's not, there is work to do. There is work to do. Thank you very much once again. I would like to defer to Pastor.
Hello, Barrister. Sorry.
Okay, you want? Okay, you have.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, this program, though, this is my first time coming here.
Yes, ma'am.
And I heard about your program through a friend. He's here too.
Oh, awesome.
And I've always listened. But
Thank you.
what I want to say about it is that, this morning when we checked on the Google map that, okay, where is the address? He told me that, can you go? It's a church.
This is a church. This is
Yes,
a church.
he asked me that, would I be able to come over, that the place, like the venue for the program is a church.
Okay.
Yes. But I summoned courage to myself that I'm not going there to worship. I'm going there to listen. So I go there to take whatever is mine and leave whatever the church gives. I don't care. You understand?
Yeah.
But if I want to invite some other people over who have my religion, they may not want to come. So I want to ask, is it possible for you to change the venue next time? Or is it the church who is organizing the program? I want to know.
Okay. So I went to Ajegunle. I was invited to a church in Ajegunle. It was a redeemed. So when I announced that I was coming, I didn't know that people listen to Relationship 360 in Ajegunle. So when I was talking, I saw the pastor getting up, going out, coming in. So I knew there was something up because it became a little distraction. So I signaled to the pastor to ask what was going on. So there was a mosque just a street away, and a lot of people there also listened. So they were outside and they were asking that, can they come? The usher was confused because obviously they were, he didn't know what was going on, and he said he told them to allow. I said, allow everybody in now. And then the Christians in church, it was a beautiful sight, got up from their seats for Muslims to come and sit down inside, and the Christians went to stand at the back. It was just an amazing sight. It was just amazing. And, our religion is not segregation. I have gone for Ansarudin. I went to in Oyadiran, Ansarudin the service. I was there, sat down. I couldn't cross my. They were very good at sitting down. I didn't know how to do that but I was there throughout the service. I went not just once. It's not a religion of segregation. It's not that, no, you can't come in. So I understand your fear when you said change the location. Here, I'm sure they are welcome.
A denominational is not really a church. It's a ministry. We welcome all denominations. So you are welcome to join us.
So please, in fact, I almost wanted to tell you to come to the front.
Our door is open.
I almost wanted to tell you to come to the front. When I saw you, I really, there is no problem with, it's not, we don't practice segregation. No, you people stay outside. No. And as I told you, in my time of need, it was a Muslim that housed me. Did you remember I mentioned that? It was a Muslim that 3 years in her house, feeding, gave me a room. So it's not a matter, you help us, we help you, everybody, brothers and sisters. In fact, the pastor, and my former pastor was a Muslim, the Anafa's son. So, you know, it's awesome. Please invite your friends, invite your, knowledge is free. Knowledge is, I hope you have been able to get value. I hope I made sense. Thank you. So, it is 12 to 3:00. So we are finished. It is you people that are keeping us here. Because me, I finished since 3:00.
Barrister, I have an announcement.
Yes, I was coming to you, ma.
All right. Sorry. We can't thank you enough. We can't clap for you enough. It's a good work you are doing. It's only God that can reward you. And our sincere prayer is the Lord will reward you, and the reward will be generational and eternal in the mighty name of Jesus. This is Rose of Sharon, Glorious Mission International. We are in collaboration with Purple Curtain. Our own program is called University of Marriage. This June, 8th of June, we are having our own University of Marriage retreat, and the time is 12 noon. We'd like you to come and have a taste of what we also do in our University of Marriage. And our servant leader is unavoidably absent, Apostle 𝗖𝗢𝗨𝗡𝗥. She's glad you are here. Let's appreciate her for giving us this platform. Thank you all for coming. See you June 8th.
June 8th of June, University of Marriage. Awesome. I would also endeavor to be there. Eshego, thank you very much. Anybody to move the motion for adjournment? Madam Dora, move the motion for adjournment. I'm not playing. You second. Thank you very much. And seconded by... Thank you very much. And I thank God important people are here. You don't know Madam Sotonia that just moved. If you've heard of FIDA, has anybody heard of FIDA? FIDA. It's a Federation of Women Lawyers. What they do is to help victims of domestic violence and abuse. Is it free? Pro bono. Before... So she's the vice chair of the Lekki Ekpe branch. And she's here all the way. I appreciate you, ma. Thank you very much, ma. So you meet important people are here too. And you are all important to Ogene. Everyone here is important. Thank you very much again. And see you next month, by God's grace.